Yes, welcome back, we the people. We're on the book of Revelation, El's Holy Injiyl, chapter 15, verse 7. And the heading of verse 7 is, the seven messengers and the four living creatures are described as being in the crystal city. King James mistranslation, verse 7. And one of the four beasts gave unto the seven angels 7 golden vials, full of the wrath of God, who liveth forever and ever. Close quotation. And old Babylon, Dr. York's translation. And old Babylon, one of the four living creatures, gave the 7 messengers 7 golden vials, bowls full of punishments of Theos, to pour the wrath of plagues unto the planet Earth, the ever-living, even until eternity and forevermore. Verse 8, heading of verse 8, no one will enter into the crystal city until the 7 plagues are completed. King James mistranslation, and the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power. And no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation, a more fully comprehensive understanding of what's happening here. And the tabernacle was full of incense, smoke from the splendor of Theos, the sweet fragrant smell of incense. The Levites, or Levitical priests, used to burn incense day and shadow hour upon a special altar that stood in the holy place of the sanctuary, in front of the curtain that separated this apartment from the most holy place. At the annual day of atonement, the high priest entered the most holy place and burned incense in a center. The smoke which enveloped the ark of the covenant, in brackets, Aron Berith Yahuwah, close brackets, in brackets again, Leviticus chapter 16, verse 12 to 13, close brackets. Incense will scent the new temple also, the temple of the Most High, the crystal city. And from his power, and no one was able to enter the tabernacle. No one will be able to enter the crystal city until after the earth has experienced the fullness and completeness of Theos' wraths. The plagues of the 7 ark messengers, Anunnaki Elohim, is completed. First the 144,000, then afterwards the judgment of all others on the planet Earth, which will occur after the 7 Anunnaki Elohim with the 7 vials full of wrath, which are plagues of Theos, have finished afflicting the planet Earth with the punishments of El Elo, in brackets, Eli, close brackets, the Most High. That's the end of chapter 15. We're moving on to chapter 16, verse 1. The heading, the messengers are now given the command to pour forth upon the planet Earth the last 7 plagues of Theos. The supreme voice, heading of verse 1. Chapter 16. King James mistranslation, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. Close quotation. Dr. York's right translation. And I, John son of Zebedee and Salome, heard a supreme voice from the tabernacle saying, for the 7 messengers sent to depart, being ordered to leave the Orion skies and carry out their assignments in order to pour out the 7 vials of punishment of Eli, Theos, Allah, Anu, El Elo, upon the planet Earth. The whole world would suffer Eli's wrath in the form of plagues, pestilence, famines, and diseases, except for those who are faithful to El Elo, in brackets, Eli, close brackets. These 7 Anunnaki Elohim will bring the last 7 miseries destined to plague the earth. Chapter 2, and the heading of chapter 2 is, the first messenger pours out his vial upon the people on the earth, and they are afflicted with a grievous sore. Only those who have given themselves over to the beasts will be afflicted, as well as the descendants of Canaan, the cursed. Continuing reading chapter 16, verse 2, King James mistranslation. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his name, in brackets, King James Version, close brackets. Dr. York's translation. And the first Anunnaki Elohim went out and poured out his vial upon the planet Earth. So it struck a strong, grievous sore of an awful disease, starting with the AIDS virus that has no known cure, upon the nation of people who had in them the beast's mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and on those who worshipped his picture and became Christians, worshipping the image of the pale Jew's Jesus. Nubians have been seduced into worshipping the image of the beast by worshipping the picture of the pale Jew Jesus. The so-called Jew has replaced the real image of the Messiah Jesus with an image of himself. This is the picture of Jesus that you see hanging on walls throughout the world. They want you to believe in this fake Jesus. Some of them even mix their seed with them. One of the Amorites' main objectives is to get you to corrupt your seed. Don't forget that the Amorite is not a part of the original creation. He knows that the more he integrates and crossbreeds with your seed, the harder it will be for you to differentiate just who you really are. In doing so, he will have successfully eliminated your pure seed. You were warned against mixing your seed by your father, Abraham. Abraham forbade the mixing of his seed with the house of Libana, in brackets, Canaan, close brackets. Abraham made Eliezer, his servant, swear to him that he would not take a female offspring of Canaan to lie with for a wife for his son, because they were a cursed tribe of people. In brackets, Genesis chapter 24, 4, verse 4 and verse 37, close brackets. Each generation of Abraham's descendants were warned to obey the law of not mixing with the families of the Canaanites. Like father, like son, Isaac told his son Jacob the same thing. In brackets, in quotations, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And this is in Genesis, in brackets, Genesis chapter 28, verse 1, close brackets. Esau was disobedient and mixed with the Canaanites. Esau knew that mixing his seed would displease his father. Brackets, Genesis chapter 26, verse 35, close brackets. As a result of him mixing his seed came the Edomite people, the Mongolian race. In trying to right his wrong, he then sought an Ishmaelite wife by the name of Basimath, from his uncle's tribe. In brackets, Genesis chapter 28, verses 8 to 9, close brackets. We'll continue this reading on the other side. I'm running out of space for this recording, so I'll see you on the other side, people.